Namaste, beautiful people. Welcome to my home yoga studio. My name is Loretta, and today I will talk about Ujjayi breath. You probably already heard that name, and you already know that this is one of very popular and important breathing techniques. This is the breath that we use in our asana or physical practice. So let's begin with the word pranayama, and I will discuss it more in a separate video, and I will go over more breathing or pranayama techniques in a separate video. But I just want to explain what this Sanskrit word means, pranayama. There are a couple of definitions. Some sources say that pranayama word consists of two words, prana and yama, which means breath control. The other sources say that these two words are prana and ayama, which means the breath expansion. And in a sense, they both are right, because we know that if we can control our breath, we can control our minds. And by the way, the Yoga Sutra number 2 in Patanjali Sutra book defines the essence of yoga as seizing the fluctuations of the mind. So this second Yoga Sutra sounds this: Yogam chitta vritti nirodha, which means yoga means to seize the fluctuations of the mind. Excuse me. So, with that being said, that explanation that pranayama means breath control, that is correct. Then the other explanation that pranayama means the expansion of prana, it is also very correct. Prana, it is believed to be a life force that rides on our breath and animates us. So the more you get that, the more you become alive, the more you become awake, the more you become healthy, the more prana you get into your system. So breathing techniques or pranayama techniques, they strengthen our diaphragm, which is our breathing muscle, and also increases the capacity of our lungs. By practicing these breathing exercises, we could increase the capacity of our lungs, so it just changes the quality of our breathing. So that is very important. And we also know that the breathing is one of the most important detox techniques, right? So we exhale the toxins and whatever we no longer need, we exhale, and we inhale the fresh oxygen that we also need. So Ujjayi. Now Ujjayi, from Sanskrit or original language of yoga, it means victorious, or sometimes to conquer, the translation is. So it's an uprising, victorious breath. It's diaphragmatic breath. So as we already discussed in the other video about breathing, so you inhale first into the low belly, you feel how it expands, and then you keep inhaling into the rib cage and then into your chest, and exhaling vice versa, chest, rib cage, belly. So it's training the diaphragm, using the diaphragm. Also, it is an audible breath. It creates a sound, and that is why this Ujjayi breath, sometimes called ocean breath or oceanic breath. And it doesn't have to be very loud. Um, Sometimes in a class we listen to the person next to us, and it's really nice. It kind of inspiring you. It connects us all, this breathing together and all this sound of Ujjayi. But if you make it too loud, you create the strain, you create the tension in your mind. So you have to kind of practice for a little bit to find your tone, to find your the golden middle, where you're not applying too much stress on the breath. It has two qualities. This Ujjayi breath has two qualities. It energizes, and at the same time it relaxes. It creates a fire, and yet also just soothes like the water, cools down like the water. And you could use these two qualities in your asana practice. So when you practice your Ujjayi in a challenging position, let's say such as plank pose, and you need to hold the plank for a minute or so, you could turn up the volume of your Ujjayi breath and then make it a little bit louder, a little bit more energized. And if you are practicing seated pose or standing mountain pose, the pose that you easily could spend a minute or two in, you could make this breath very quiet, long, and peaceful. And of course, in our vinyasa practices, either Ashtanga vinyasa or any other type of flow class, you learn how to link the movement to the breath. And the goal is to relax and to make it very smooth. So the breath is long, smooth, and relaxed, and so is the movement. The movement is slow, smooth, and relaxed. Not only in a pose, holding the pose, but also during the transitions. It is important. Ujjayi is amazing for another quality that it also has. It is a direct breath, and you could mentally direct the energetic flow of your breath into the areas that you want to direct. Let's say you are in the child's pose or in embryo pose, where you have your thighs and knees together, and you simply fold over just like that, and your belly is compressed, and it's hard for your diaphragm to expand and move freely. Then what you do, you could direct that Ujjayi breath into the back body. You could visualize that you are breathing into your kidney meridian, feeling how your kidneys expand with the inhale and contract with the exhale. Our organs are breathing. Every cell of our bodies is breathing. So then you could direct the breath into the back of your heart. You could feel your rib cage expands and contracts with each breath. You could visualize your lungs unfold with each inhalation, just like the two beautiful wings, and then fold back. So you could direct the Ujjayi breath into the areas that feel a little bit more congested, into the areas that you want to bring your awareness to, that you want to create a space and a sense of well-being and self-healing. So that is also amazing quality of Ujjayi. And now the technique. As we said, it's an audible breath. We do that by creating this restriction. I'm not even sure which word is more accurate, by toning our throat muscles as we were whispering the sound, the breath, through the back of our throat. The vocal cords or glottis, there is an opening in between, and that's how the sound is created as the air moves through that opening. So what you do, you close that opening a lot. You just narrow the passages that the air flows through, and that's how this sound of Ujjayi is created. Sometimes it is referred as to a whisper, to wind, to hissing sound, to ocean sound. And the most popular technique that this breath is being taught by, it is a fogging the glass or fogging the mirror. If you've never tried that, I invite you to try this with me. If you already know it, I still invite you to go back to basics, because it's always good to go back to basics and remind yourself, how nice is to be a beginner, because beginner can learn a lot and the expert can only learn few things, the ancient wisdom says. So anyway, so let's try that technique. So you could place your hands in front of your face and visualize that you have a mirror or the glass that you will fog now in a moment. So you will be inhaling through your nose, and then you will be exhaling through your open mouth, as if you were fogging that imaginary glass or mirror. So let's begin a couple times. Inhale through your nose and exhale open mouth. Inhale. One more time. Now let's try to close our lips halfway through our exhalation. Let's try that a couple times now. Inhaling through your nose, and on an exhalation, halfway through, you will close your lips, but still continue to fog that imaginary mirror. So let's begin. Inhale. One more. Slowly release your hands onto your thighs or knees and just observe how you feel at this moment. Take an inventory. Have you noticed how your exhalation changed as you applied this Ujjayi technique? Have you noticed that maybe your breath, your exhale became longer? Have you noticed that your exhale became much deeper? Have you noticed that you truly used your diaphragm this time? If you Google BKS Iyengar Ujjayi breath, you could enjoy him breathing. One inhale or the exhale could last, more than a minute. And that's what happens through the years of practice. You train your body, you train your lungs, and you could have this very, very long inhalation and very long exhalation. For some reason, it is much harder to apply this Ujjayi technique on the inhale. It's much easier to exhale through the constriction, through this closure at the back of your throat on the exhalation, but on an inhalation is a little bit harder. But again, it takes practice. So let's try to apply the Ujjayi technique to the inhale and to the exhale right now. You don't have to lift your hands this time. Just imagine that you keep fogging that mirror through the exhale and through the inhalation, as if you were inhale the breath through the very fine straw, as if you would sip the air through a very fine straw. That's how the association for the inhale could be done in a mind visualization. So let's begin inhaling through the nose and then empty out, exhale. And as you inhale, imagine that you're sipping the air through the back of your throat. Listen to this soft sound of Ujjayi. And as you begin to exhale, as if you were fogging the mirror down in your lap, keep breathing. Relax your face. Sometimes when we focus and try something for the first time or try something hard, we create unnecessary tension in our face. So just soften the forehead, the skin on your forehead. As you breathe, soften the hinge of your jaw. Soften the base of your neck. Relax your shoulders. The heart is elevated and energetically opened. As you breathe in and out through the entire length of the spine. Imagining how air brushes up against the back of your throat and up against the entire length of your inner spine. You can apply the count to the breath. You could equalize the inhale and exhale. You could create your own ratio. You could begin by counting to 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. If you ever need to stop this Ujjayi breath and return to your everyday breathing, please do so. Couple more. Now to really hear the sound, and it is a nice thing to try, remember how by the ocean you were listening, you would put I was doing that when I was a child. I would put the shell to my ear and then listen to the ocean sound in that shell. So you could cup your palms, and then as those would be two seashells, you could cover your ears and for the few more breaths practicing your Ujjayi, listening to the oceanic sound. And then when you're ready, you could slowly release your hands onto your knees. You could gently float your eyes open. And I thank you for practicing. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to do so below this video. Namaste. Thank you.